online world talks so much about overcoming objections. There are courses on overcoming objections. There are strategies and tips and all of this talk about how to convert more clients by overcoming their objections. Here's the problem with that line of thinking. As values-driven coaches, we don't want to be against our clients ever. So the idea of overcoming objections feels like coercion, manipulation, or at the very least, me against you. And that is no way to enroll dream clients. So inside of Client Surge, as well as in the Hive, we reframe this idea of overcoming objections and instead look at how we can help our clients address concerns. So when you're in a sales call, it's so important to use your coaching skills in order to help your client arrive at an empowered decision about whether or not they want to work with you. And I want to show you what that looks like in action, especially when it comes to the biggest objection we often receive in discovery calls, in sales conversations, and that is money. So what do you do when a client says they can't afford you? Here's what you don't do. Overcome their objection. Instead, I want you to partner with them. Use your coaching skills of active listening, of resourceful thinking, and advocating for the client's success to help them see what's underneath their money concerns. Okay, so one of the things that we do inside of Client Surge is these pop-up playbacks where students record practice sales calls that they run with each other. And then I go in and look at these sales calls play by play by play to break down what worked, what didn't, and why. So what you're about to watch is something that occurred at the end of one of these playbacks. So we watched a playback, and then one of my Client Surge students totally put me on the spot and asked if I would role play addressing the money concern. And I have to be honest, I was terrified. I thought, okay, I'm the expert here. How's this going to go? What am I going to do? Am I going to be able to deliver? And then I remembered, wait a second, delivering looks like listening, coaching, and advocating for this person's success. I've got this. So the result was this beautiful transformation where the person I was coaching saw so clearly that what she needed was to give herself permission to invest and to trust that she and I had a structure for her to be successful once the investment was made. So this recording was so helpful for my students, I wanted to share it with you. And whether you're watching this video on Instagram or you're listening to the podcast, here's what I don't want you to try to listen for. The step-by-step formula that I followed to overcome the money objection, because that's not what it looks like when you're a values-driven coach and you're enrolling new clients. Instead, what it looks like is advocating for their success and listening really deeply. All right, so let me give you a little bit of context so that you can catch this recording and understand what's going on. So we watched a playback where Karen was the client. Karen wanted coaching around how to accomplish her business goals. Tracy was the coach, and they went through the entire session. What came up in that session was that Karen felt financially strapped. She actually had gone and gotten a second job to help relieve some financial pressure. Karen also has a history of being in programs that either one, did not deliver, or two, she felt pretty invisible and therefore didn't follow through. So when I step in, Karen and I essentially pick the conversation up where I invite her to become a client. She shares her money concern, and we coach around it. Okay, if after listening to this, you feel inspired To deepen your enrollment skills, it's a sign that Client Surge is the perfect next step for you. Enrollment is now open for Client Surge, so give yourself the gift of 13 minutes of watching this training and then go and grab your spot in Client Surge because the doors are open. And with that, I hope you enjoy this role play of addressing the money concern. Okay, so I'm Tracy, you're Karen. I've just presented the invitation, and just to keep things really simple, let's just say the invitation is we're going to work together privately or we're going to do a small group. I've explained all of those pieces to you. You're going to come back with, oh, I really want to do it, but I can't afford it, or however you might frame that. Okay, ready? All right, so how does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds really exciting. I'm just really not sure if it's in my budget right now.
Yeah, I understand that. Tell me more about that, Karen.
Um, well, right now for me, I just got a job just to like pay my bills, and it's still not quite enough. And so I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to put it on a credit card.
Mm,
It just sounds like, how do I, not to be blunt, but I'm wondering, what if I put it on my credit card, it's just going to build up, and I don't really, I want to lessen my debt instead of adding to it.
yeah, I really hear that. So I hear that you're really committed to this 2-bedroom apartment that's going to require more rent to pay every month, and you want to pay down your debt. We spent our whole hour talking about how you are worried that you're not going to be able to move your business forward because of this part-time job. So I just want you to know I totally get it. And sometimes the answer with working with me is to wait because money is the obstacle. Sometimes there's something underneath the money obstacle. And I just want to make sure that you feel great about your decision today, whether that's to put it on a credit card and work with me, or if that decision is to wait. So how do you feel about just digging for a minute about what, if anything, might be underneath the financial concerns?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. So if it wasn't about the money, and I want to be really clear, I'm not minimizing your financial situation. You've been really clear about that. But if it wasn't just about the money, or if there was something that made you feel like, of course, I'm going to put this on a credit card, right? What would that thing underneath the money be?
Um, I guess uh, for me, I want to know how much how much I'm going to get out of it. To be honest, I tend to invest in a lot. I've gotten to a place where I invest in a lot of programs
Yeah.
and I don't see a lot of follow through. And I don't know if it's because of the program or if it just wasn't right for me, or I needed a more hands-on approach, or that. And I don't want to invest in something else and just add more stuff to my credit card.
Totally.
Um, and not really know that it's gonna, not to say it's not worth it, but yeah, but really, yeah, is it gonna be
Yeah.
worth it?
That's right. That's exactly what I hear you asking, and that's a valid question. I also heard you say that with programs in the past, there's been like a follow through gap. Does that feel accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, this is part of why I love working with people one on one. The group that I offer is also a small group, so it feels like that one on one experience because you don't get to hide in the same way that you would in a larger group. But I'm just curious, what type of additional support or structure would you need in order to follow through at an entirely different level than you've been able to with past programs? In other words, how do you need me to show up differently in order to help you get your money's worth?
Um, I guess the attention,
Mhm.
Really someone to really call me out on my shit.
Yeah, right? Got it.
You know, if
Mhm.
I don't have that, I'll hide, and I won't get the work done. I'm not I need outside influence to kind of keep me motivated.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get really clear. When you say attention and outside influence, and you may not know until you're in it, right?
Hmm.
But outside of our coaching sessions, one on one, every other week, or a group meeting if you decide to go that way every other week, what additional attention and accountability do you need from me to help you follow through?
Um, I mean, if if I had my dream, I'd be someone knocking on my door, like waking me up in the morning and telling me to get my work done.
Got it.
Um, so there's a part of me that's like, oh, well, that's not very realistic. So, um, there's a part of me that's wondering what's appropriate to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't that be great? Someone should start a company where like a guy just comes and knocks on your door and points and says, "Do the thing you said you were going to do."
Right?
And then like I would subscribe to that too. I totally get it.
Yeah.
So I can't fly down to California and knock at your door. And I also want to make sure that this process is 100% yours. But here's what I can promise. I can show up and hold a mirror, a big full length mirror up to you every single time we have a meeting. And if what you need is an additional check in over email on our off weeks, I would love to be able to provide that for you. And maybe as I think about it, what if we came up with some sort of code word like pineapple, right? And I just, and that's the word we use when I feel like, oh, is she hiding? And that's the word that you use when you feel like, oh, I might be hiding. And see if together we can access inside of you that deeper ability to follow through. I'm totally willing to bring that to the table if it would help.
Thank you. To be honest, that it sounds a little scary.
Yeah, of course. Tell me more.
Um, it's a lot easier to hide. And so it sounds a little scary to if I actually had that. It's wow. It's a lot of wow.
Yeah, I get that. Is it the type of scary you're willing to lean into, or does it honestly feel like too much for you right now?
Um, that's a good question. I would say it's probably like right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is very scary, and I think it might be something I would be willing to lean into. Because this is something I really do want, and I know I do know I need to take that leap in order to go through it. And I think it is something that I really need.
Yeah. My sense, given what we've talked about, boy, you were so clear when I asked you, tell me what it looks like in a year. You closed your eyes, your body language shifted. Your connection to that picture and the thing that you want was palpable. I also see that you're resourceful. You know how to get support when you need it. You know how to ask for help. And my sense is part of this follow-through issue is that it's been almost a learned habit rather than a flaw or a character trait. So if it's a learned habit, we can unlearn that. And I would love to help you inside of the program.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it would just be so great to see you following through and feeling good about it. And I would love to hear you talk about, it felt like too much. And right away, I saw that I was ready. Because me sitting here, I see someone who's ready. And that doesn't mean it isn't going to be scary.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm hearing you say that this is something you really want. I'm hearing you say that it feels scary and maybe a little overwhelming, but maybe worth leaning into.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's this practical piece about credit card debt and being able to make this investment.
Mm-hmm.
How, if at all, do you feel different about making this investment given what we just talked about?
It feels a lot more, it feels a lot more worth it. It feels like if I make this investment, it might be the push I really need to get to where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a little scary, but it does feel a lot better. It does feel a lot better.
Yeah, I feel that too. I really do. So if you would like, it would be such a joy to work with you, and I'd love to get you enrolled in the program today. How does that sound?
Okay.
Great.
Okay. Let's do it.
Do it. This is so exciting. And I just want you to know that I've been where you are, and those moments when you feel afraid, pineapple me.
Okay.
Okay, we are in this together, and it just really feels for me like you're ready, and I admire you for leaning into that. It's really cool to see.
Thank you. I appreciate your support.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Karen. I got so into that. That really, should I give you a payment link right now because that felt very real. Thank you, Karen, for volunteering.
Welcome. Thank you.